Hey there folks, today we're learning about the user authentication on Firebase, and we're going to do that with Flask, the server-side library of Python. First, let's go ahead and look into the HTML page that we're going to use. But first, we're going to create some folder, in the project directory. We're going to create the templates folder, very important if you plan to use Flask, and the static folder. And inside the static folder, we're going to create a folder named image, and we're going to put the background image inside the image folder. Click on refactor. Okay, so we're going to put the rest of the HTML page inside the templates folder. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look into those HTML page. So the first one is the index page. It's just the user login page. The user enters his information and that's it. And after that, we have the home page. So after the user login, he gets prompted to the home page. Nothing to see in there for the moment. After that, we can look at the create account page. The create account page is a page where the user is going to enter his information to register. We also have the reset password page. So in the reset password page, you just have what input area where you enter your email, and then we send you an email to reset your password. And then the verify email page, nothing in there, just to let you know after you create your account that you need to verify your email. So that's about it for the HTML page that we're going to use. So let's go ahead and go inside Firebase and create our first project. If you already have a Gmail account, you don't need to create an account anymore. It's going to log you in automatically. You just click on get started. After that, you're going to click on create projects. You're going to name your project. The name has to be unique. We're going to call it Project Bento 1. We don't need analytics from Google. Okay. The project is being created, so let's wait one moment while it's finishing up. Perfect. So after that, you will need to create your web application. So you click on the web app icon and you give a name to your web application. Web app 1. And you're going to collect all those information, you copy it, and you save it because we're going to use it later in order to communicate with the Firebase database. So we also need to go inside authentication and click on sign in method, and we need to enable the email password because that's what we're going to use in our project. Okay, that's it in Firebase. Let's get back into PyCharm, and we're going to save to create one environment variable. We do that because we want to hide our API key. So we're going to name it Firebase API key, and we're going to paste our API key inside because we don't want to expose it. A lot of hackers out there, so let's go ahead and apply that. Okay, let's go back to see if it's safe. Run edit configuration, and here it's up there. So we're going to try and see if Python can read that variable over there. So let's print os.environ, and then we put the Firebase API key inside. Press run. Okay, perfect, it's working. Okay, now that we have everything ready, let's go ahead and create the main Python file of the project. We're going to name it main. So we have the main.py created. We can close the HTML page. We don't need them for the moment. Okay, so we also need to install some library. So we're going to use pip3. So the first one will be Flask. So pip3 install Flask. And then we're going to install Firebase 4. It's important to precise the 4, otherwise it's not going to work with Python 3. So it's pip 3 install Firebase 4. Okay, waiting a little bit for it to be installed. Okay, so all the library installed. So next step, let's try and see if the internal web server of Flask is properly set up, if everything is working fine. So from Flask, we're going to import Flask and render templates. And we're going to define our Flask application, very important, otherwise it's not going to work. And then after that, we're going to create our first routes and the function for that route just below it, and we're going to return render template and the index.html. Okay, so after that we need the last if statement in order for us to be able to run our app. So app.run. Okay, so let's try and run it and see if it's working. It's working, but with no background. So let's go ahead and fix the background. So we go into the CSS and we change, because we changed the folder of the picture, we need to change it in the HTML file. Go for static, and the file name, we're going to name it image/background .diff. Okay, let's close everything up. Okay, let's run it. Okay, now we have the background. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and start with the configuration of our Firebase database. So we import OS and we import Firebase, and then we're going to create a dictionary that we're going to name config, and inside the dictionary we're going to save all those information. We're going to paste it in there, API key and everything. So it's supposed to be a dictionary, so let's fix those key. Okay, perfect. So, we also need to remove the API key and put the os.environ Firebase API key. Okay, yeah, that's great. So we need to initiate the communication between our file and the web app. We do that with initialize app, and we pass the config variable in there. We also need to initialize the authentication with firebase.auth. Perfect. Okay, so we need to start by creating another route, and this route will be to create an account, because that's the first step. You need to create an account in order to log in. So the method is going to be post and get, just in case. Okay, and below we're going to create a function. The function is going to be create account. And we're going to return the create account HTML. Okay. Something we need to fix. We need to fix the button so that we can link the sign up button to the create account HTML page. So yeah, let's run it and see if it's working fine. Okay. We're going to click on sign up. Okay, it's working. So now we need to modify the HTML page. We're going to add a tag, the name tag. We need the name tag to communicate back and forth with Python and HTML. So the first one will be name username, and inside the password we're going to use the name, and the name will be password 0. The last one, which is confirm password, we're going to give it a name, and the name will be user password 1. Okay, so let's go back to modify the function. So first we need to be sure that the user is entering the same password in password and confirm password. So we're going to create the if statement. If request method is post, we need to import the request, Okay, if it's post, and we're going to gather the password. So the password 0 is going to be request from user password 0, and then we just copy and paste and replace 0 with 1. Okay, so now we need to make sure that those passwords 0 and 1 are the same, and then after that we can move forward. We can collect the email, request.form user email. We can collect the password. We're going to use the password 1 just randomly, and then we're going to create a new user with those email and password with the method create new user with email and password. We're passing the email and the password, and after that we need to send an email for verification. So we're doing auth.send verification email, and in this method we need to pass the new user with the IG token. That's how this method works. So, and if the account is created, we can open the verify email page to let the user know that he need to verify his email. So we need to try and accept. Why? Because if the user is trying to use the same email, we need to notify him that you cannot use the same email. This email is already used. It's the message that we're going to send to the user if he tried to use the same email twice. And we return the create account with that message. Exist message, it's equal to existing account. Perfect. Okay, so we need to modify the HTML again. We need to modify the form. We're going to insert the action, and we're going to insert the method. The method is going to be post. Okay, and we also need to insert the message that we just created in HTML. We're using Ginger to do that. So we're creating an if statement. If that message exists, we're going to create a new div with the class alert danger. Close the div. And inside that div, we're going to put that message that we just created in Python. We need to center it. Exist message. Just to notify the user that that email has already been used. Okay, let's test it. Click on sign up. Try to enter an email. I'm hiding my email. I don't trust you guys. Entering a password, and then let's click on register. Okay, it's working fine. We sent you a mail. Please verify your email to continue. You're going to go ahead and verify your email. You click on the link. It's going to verify and everything. Let's go and see if we have a new user. Okay, we have a new user in our database. So that's how you create an account. Perfect. Okay, so let's try to use the same email and see if we're going to have an error message. This email is already used. Great. It's working perfectly. Now that we know the drill, we can go ahead and finish up with the rest pretty quickly. So let's take care of the user login. So let's modify that first route. So we're going to provide it the index, and the methods are going to be get and post just in case. And and then we modify the function. So as usual, if request method is equal post, we collect the email request.form. We're going to name it user email, and for the password, same thing, request.form user password. So let's go back to the HTML to provide those names to the inputs. So for the email input, we're going to name it user email, and for the password input, we're going to name it user pwd. Perfect. We can modify the form as well, provided the index inside action, and the method is going to be the method posts. Okay, we can continue. So we can verify if the password is correct. We're going to sign in the user. We're going to pass it email and password. The method is sign in with email and password. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to verify if the user went ahead and click on the verify link. So we want to be sure that the user verify his email before being able to log in. So that's why we're creating those two variables, and we're going to put IG token inside. So if account user 0, so we're navigating in a nested JSON file. Email verify is equal false. So if the email is not verified, we're creating a message. Please verify your email. So we're creating a message, and we're going to send that message in the index HTML. We're going to name it U message, and we're passing verify message. Okay, so if the email is verified, we can send the user to the home page, the home.html. So if the password is incorrect now, the accept method, we're going to create a message name unsuccessful, and we're going to say please check your credential, and we're going to return that message on the index.html. Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is complete. This is pretty complete though. Looks good. We need to include the message in the HTML page. So we're using our Jinja syntax. If uMessage exists, and if we're going to create a GIF. Same thing, alert danger, and we're going to center our message, your message. Perfect, beautiful. Okay, let's see if everything is working fine. Okay, I forgot my email, so let's go ahead and create the last route. The last route is going to be the reset password one. Get and post. Okay, now we're creating a function just below. We're going to name it forgot password, and we're going to do the same thing. If request method is post, we're going to collect the email request.form user email. Let's go ahead and give the name user email inside the inputs. Okay, name user email. We can modify the form as well. Reset passwords, and the method is going to be post. Method post. Okay, so we can continue with the function. We're going to send the reset email, .send reset email, and we're passing the email, and we're sending the user back to the login page. reset password.html. So we're done with that function. I believe everything is okay. We need to modify one of the button in the index.html. We need to modify it so that we can put the link to the reset password page. So href, then we put /reset password. Okay, I believe yeah, we can save it now. Everything is done. Let's run it. Okay, click on forgot password because I just forgot my password. Let me enter my password. Click, okay. I'm in my email. I click on the link. Okay, I can enter the new password. Okay, the password needs to be strong enough. Save, password change. So now let me try to log in. It's working. Perfect. Thanks a lot and have a good day.